Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cocktails and Rocktails with me, your most notorious groupie, Allison Rouse, author of this little book right here we've got tonight. These other little books, where you can get that, my funny as hell merchandise, all my social media, everything down in that description. So hit that Linktree link and go check it all out. Fiddle about, because you won't get a tap, tap, tap from me. And you know what, you guys? I'm always going to start off being thankful for you guys because it's just so amazing that people not only find my stories fun and interesting, but we're having great conversations that I'm getting to meet so many people, even though I'm still trying to catch up. But I'm just so truly thankful that I have every single one of you guys and that I have all these really amazing friendships and people that I get to meet, and just really truly I'm so lucky and so thankful. I'm thankful every day. And for those of you just joining us, I haven't done one of these before. This is what I call my blackout episode. It's usually I'm doing interviews with other groupies or other women around the entertainment industry, or I'm doing a rock auction. And today we are doing a rock auction. We are going to be doing the rock auction from none other than the fucking Purple King himself, Prince. Because, I mean, God, and there wasn't a ton of stuff that was auctioned by Prince because obviously Paisley Park is going to be the museum, and Prince has a ton of stuff, a shit ton of stuff. I still would like to know whatever happened to the estate. I never did keep up on that. So if you know, put it in the comments. And today we are going to be having our local Epic. Now, Epic does have a couple breweries, one in Denver and one here in Salt Lake City. And this is their 825 Stout because they are located at 825 South State Street. And this, guys, if you don't know Epic, they make a really cool Big Bad Baptiste Stout line with all these different flavors, all these different soaks. And this is the stout it started on. Excellent stout. Really great brew company. If you're in Denver, I know they're available nationwide, so go check them out. Love this stout. Like I said, it is the base of all their amazing stout flavors in their Big Baptiste line. Big Bad Baptiste line. Say that 5 times fast. And speaking of 5 times fast, woo, Prince. Oh, God, we miss him. He was such... Oh, wait a minute. All right, everybody grab your drinks. Kick up your heels. And let's have a little cocktails and rocktails. Cheers, big ears. Sorry about that. I've been forgetting to do that a couple times lately. But all right, so let's start with Prince. I mean, he has, like I said, he has such, because he kept all of his tour equipment, all the tour costumes. He owned it, so he kept it all. I mean, even in this auction, I'm not showing them because there's so many different things, and I'll put the link down to Julian's in the description where this auction is, or was, because it is closed. But there is even a pair of Maite's worn stage clothes. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so let's get started again. All right, so we're going to start off with this Prince Dirty Mind Tour all access area. The VIP, the laminates. This is what every groupie, rock star, roadie, everybody wants the laminate. But you know what? This is also to kind of show that auctions can be affordable of memorabilia. There's not everything that's going to be 50, 60, 100,000, $1 million. But stuff like this that we can have that were tangible. And I don't believe this was Prince's own. Now, it's a little collection. It has a few little, what do you call it? Pins, the Rude Boy pins, and the VIP all access areas. This, I believe, was his 1984. The estimated auction price was $300 and then went for $871. So went for more, almost 3 times. And that was with the buyer's premium. So I'm guessing it probably went for around 700 and change, and then the buyer's premium. But still, $871 to pay to have something that was Prince's, a pretty cool piece of rock and roll memorabilia that you can have out, that you can display. Nothing wrong with that, right? Right, and next item up, and we all know Prince. He loved his scarves. He loved his fashion. He had his own style, and this is a personally owned and worn scarf by Prince, estimated at $2,000, but went for $8,407 with the buyer's premium. And this was all at Julian's. I'll put the link down in the description. But really just amazing. Like I said, that's still a pretty reasonable price for something that was worn by Prince, it was owned by Prince. And this was something that was probably more personal, that was not stage worn, that he just had because he loved it. I mean, and who wouldn't love it? I mean, look at it. You could still wear it. I would wear it. And not a bad price, $8,407. Yeah, that is really expensive to most of us, to most people. But at the same time, what a really great memorabilia. And it's only going to go up in value because there probably aren't any other that wore this style. And he probably wore this. He did change his style many times. I'm picturing maybe around the mid to late 90s he wore this, maybe early yeah. So that's kind of where he was, kind of the 70s cool style Prince, the regeneration. But still, like I said, not a bad deal for this scarf that was personally owned by Prince. He is one of the most iconic men in the world. God rest his soul. Okay, and next up, and just go to show you that Prince did keep everything, whether it belonged to him or not, because he was such a powerhouse behind some really amazing uh, uh, careers for musicians. You know, brought Sheila E., his, like I said, his ex-wife Maite, kept all the dancers' clothes, everything. So this is a gold record for Vanity 6 Gold Sales Award. And we all remember that record. Ladies, come on, sing it down in the comments. Such a great, great song. We all loved it. And we all loved Vanity because, of course, she was in, such a huge part of Prince's career in early years, and just absolutely amazing. So, and also engaged to Nikki Sixx and Motley Crue at some point. But anyway, but not all gold records are going to be worth a shit ton of money. Most of them are not. Most of them be able to get within a few $1,000s, because there are several gold records made for the producers, for the record company, for the artists, for the band members, So, and Vanity, like I said, she is nostalgic. We all know her. We all know who she is. But it was supposed to go for $500, sold for $1,257 with the buyer's premium. So still really good price for this gold record. Still nostalgic. Still a huge part of Prince's legacy and his story. Absolutely love it. Okay, now this one I'm really kind of surprised did not go for more, because this is such an iconic, and this is part of Prince's stuff because it does keep lists. He is so on top of everything. He knows everything about his business, his songs, his music. Everything is his touch. It is all Prince. And especially something like this, a 1983 Purple Rain original screenplay and crew list. This was only estimated for $800. It sold for $4,607 with the buyer's premium. But so absolutely amazing to own something like this. Like, you can see in his head. I don't know if this one was owned by Prince or if it was somebody else in the director, the production managers or someone. Because if it was Prince's, I think, number one, there'd be a whole lot of handwritten changes to the scripts and the notes and stuff. Number two, I think it would have gone for more than $4,600. But still an iconic script to own. Something, again, you can keep and show people, just don't let them touch it. But iconic, because we all know the Purple Rain movie. Every single one of us Gen Xers saw it in the friggin' movie theaters. We wanted the jacket. We wanted the motors. We wanted to be Vanity, eat Apollonia, whatever, And we all know how to do the bird. So this is absolutely iconic. Just something really cool to have. Surprised it didn't go for more than $4,600, no matter whose it was. And Gen Xers, I think we're the only people left on the face of the earth, besides some of our parents and maybe a couple grandparents, that know exactly what this is. And it's amazing because, Prince used a cassette. What? Could you imagine him riding around in his car listening to this and just like, kind of wanting to make changes, making notes on it and stuff. But yeah, this is a 1986 rehearsal cassette tape sold for only $4,749, estimated at $300 because they always, when people take stuff to auction, no matter what it is, they always use the low estimate. So I'm guessing it was $300 to maybe $600 estimate, but sold for $4,749. Which really, let's face it, I mean, listening to a Prince, his own personal, like, rehearsal cassette tape and what was going through his mind, what he was thinking, where he was stopping, just listening to him coordinate the tour on this cassette tape. Just how fucking cool is that? And from 1986, no less. I mean, the height of Purple Rain, of everything. I mean, just so cool. And I say only, but really, truly, only for $4,749. Just totally cool. I hope someday somebody plays this for us all to hear. That would be so awesome. All right, and okay, so we're going to compare a couple this is kind of the same item right here. The next one is going to be very similar. So we're going to compare why one of these, because there's going to be both. This is Prince's personally owned yellow stage worn boots. Now, these were estimated at $12,000, but actually went for $75,148, which, yeah, of course. I mean, you can tell he wore these a couple times because Prince always had a lot of different, of the same pieces per tour. So you can tell these are worn. These are yellow. They are Prince. You can see him with the cloud suit that he wore, one of his purple suits. I'm guessing this is probably around the cloud era, the cloud suit era, and might have worn the piece. But yeah, still $75,148. I mean, of course they were going to. I'm surprised they didn't go for more because we can see these on Prince. He was bright, he was bold, he was absolutely outstanding in his fashion and very, very individual. And, he's a tiny man, so he liked a little bit of heel. Who doesn't? But still absolutely amazing. I don't know who the maker is. I wish I would because I wonder if that brought to the provenance. But we can see Prince in these 100%. Absolutely. So, yeah, sold for that $75,148. But now we have these ones. These are stage-worn, custom-made, high-heeled boots, looking to be a little bit later. Now, this auction was of November 2023. The other one was in 2017. So and they've got the peace, the Prince peace symbol, the peace name symbol on it. So they're going to be a little late, a little bit different era than the yellow boots. Now, these were estimated to go for $8,000 and did go quite a bit above to $14,640. They are well worn. You can tell. You can see the little scuffs on the heels and on the toes where his little tootsies were. You can see these. But these may not be as desirable because, number one, the era of the yellow boots, the notoriety, the ability to visualize Prince in those yellow boots, as to where now you're sitting here trying to visualize Prince in the white boots, and we can picture it, but the yellow boots just take prominence. So that could be another reason, and the maker could also be a reason why they sold for a lot less, like $60,000 less. But those yellow boots were just really super iconic. So that's why they sold for a bit more. But these came from a really great era in his career. The Prince peace symbol that became what was more prominent in our mind, that became just his total identity for a while. But yeah, and why they went for 14,640, I don't know, but otherwise than the ability to really see that they Prince in the style. All right. And next item is actually wearable because, the shoes, Prince's feet were little. I have a size 9, so my feet wouldn't fit. I could put them on my hands, do little tap dances with those boots. But with this item, I could actually wear it. And, it's just, Prince had it on. It's got his DNA on it. You could just kind of swish it around your little ear hole there. Lick it a little. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm not. No, I'm kidding. But his personally owned and worn hoop earring and silkscreen test for clothing. I don't know where the silkscreen is. I do see but the earring. I mean, come on. Women own diamond earrings or stuff like that are more than 3,600 because this was estimated to go for 1,000, but it did go for $3,676. Because this is Prince, of course, and the auction house, Julian, knows that things are going to go for way more than they estimate. It's kind of the sensationalism of creating an auction, but at the same time, there are things that really genuinely, truly go for way more, like Ernie Ball. Long story, but there, look up Ernie Barnes painting. You'll recognize it from the show Good Times, and look at it at YouTube, you will see the true crazy exhalation that nobody expected but was amazing. So anyway, back to Prince's thingy. But his hoop, so this sold for $36.76, estimated 1,000, went up for a lot more, but you know what, you could wear this. I would rather wear this than diamonds, because then I could be like, yeah, that's Prince's earring. Yep, I got it. It's mine now. You could totally just swish, just shine off that earring alone, and you could wear it, and it's something that's very cool, and you could have the provenance and some of Prince's DNA, but totally cool, awesome thing to own. Okay, now we are going to get down to some nitty gritty. We are going to get to some really just iconic, the guitars. We're going to do a couple guitars here because, it just guitars, depending on the artist, depending on the iconic, depending on how they were used, where they were used, how they were presented, how they fit in our minds, can go for a lot of money. And again, we're going to have a back-to-back comparison here. Now, this is his own played Schecter Cloud guitar with the little symbol right there, that little curly Q over there. Just absolutely amazing. Sorry, I had to stop and burp. I don't know where the hell that came from. Anyway, so this guitar, we all know this guitar. It was owned, but was it played? It doesn't say that it was played on stage. It says it was played by Prince, but where? Was it a more iconic? Was it just a regular tour that we all saw? Where was it? Was it during an MTV? So that's one of the reasons. Estimated at $25,000, went for $111,666. I don't like that. For that price. But it went for that. So, and totally iconic guitar, totally worth that price. Does not shock me that it went way over that $25,000 estimate to that $111,666. And also how many of these white guitars are, because Prince had plenty of guitars made up, because you wear them out, you wear through the plastic. It's like my vibrator. But yeah, so iconic guitar, but sold for $111,666 as compared to the next one. Now, this one, a little bit more individual, but then we're going to compare 3 guitars back to back here. So this is a stage played on the Parade Tour and America video, Sadowski Telecaster style guitar. So this was custom made for Prince. Absolutely beautiful. We see him playing this. It was purple. It's got the flowers. It's got all of his color. Has everything. Was played on tour. But whichever one of his tours are iconic. But if it was played on, the Purple Rain tour, or say, what was the one? All the glitters, ankle, or pearl, get on top. That one, that might be a little more iconic, but it definitely was a little more, because this is an individual. This is, I believe, a one-off. So as compared to the white cloud guitar that we just saw before, this one sold for $320,000 American. It doesn't say what the estimate was for it, which I'm guessing it was probably close to the last one, around 25,000. But again, this one sold for more than twice the price of that one because of its individuality, because Prince did play it on stage. It's a well-worn guitar. It's a well-loved guitar. It played a lot of his beautiful music, but still not as iconic as the next one. Okay, now this one. The yellow cloud guitar built by Dave Rusin for Prince, completed in early 1985. So the past two guitars came after this. 85, yeah, we're talking heavy, heavy, heavy. The Purple Rain era, whichever one, I forget which one came after that. You guys still tell me in the comments. But yeah, and this is like the Yellow Shoes. The Yellow Shoes came from the same era because the Yellow Shoes had to match the guitar, but it's something we can visualize with Prince. That yellow with the cloud suit, with the yellow boots. This is iconic. It was estimated at $400,000 to $600,000. Of course, it went over because again, yellow is a even though purple is Prince's color, yellow is something we can visualize him in more and playing more. And where was it played again? It was for, I believe, the 1985 MTV is what I believe this one was for. So again, the MTV Provenance just boosted up. So that's why the minimum was so much more than the 25,000 of the other two. This minimum was 400,000 to 600,000 because we all remember that iconic Prince MTV performance, just absolutely amazing. He always left mic drop, fuck everybody else. You know what I mean? So big, huge difference from the first one at 111,000 to 320,000 to 910,000. But because of those factors, this was on MTV. The other one was on a tour that came much later than 1985. And the other one, there's multiple multiple of those guitars, and not necessarily played in an iconic moment like the MTV Music Awards. And the next one is so iconic. Oh my God. We think of Prince, we think of this. Okay, we're going to finish up with two very iconic pieces from two very different eras of Prince's life. This one, I mean, all of us just were introduced to Prince in this shirt. I mean, we all wanted one back in the day. Jerry Seinfeld was made fun of wearing for one. But anyway, it was a stage-worn white ruffled shirt from the 12th Annual American Music Awards, his performance of Purple Rain. Like, oh my God. And this was back in the 80s, so this was just like, we watched probably one of his earliest, at least, awards performances, him wearing this shirt. He wore it in an iconic moment. I'm not sure what the estimate was for it, but still, this is iconic, and it sold for $33,219, which for me, I think is very, very cheap. I couldn't afford it, but seriously, I mean, I could if I wanted to totally max out my credit cards, but seriously, this shirt was just, I mean, we think of Prince, we think of Purple Rain, we think of that suit, we think of him playing on stage in that high collar and that ruffle. I mean, or those tight little leather pants or sparkly pants with the buttons down the side and the ruffle shirt doing the splits. But for the American Music Awards, we all watched that. We may not be able to remember it, but we know we watched it. We know we saw that shirt. Sold for $333 and $33,219. Still, I mean, that is relatively cheap for something that iconic from someone like Prince. And lastly, this is, like I said, this is another iconic piece from a huge important time in his life, because Prince was fighting with his record company. He changed his name to a symbol because he could not even own his own name, so he fought back. He stood his ground, and I don't believe he was ever with another record company again after that. but he was hiding so much of himself, his identity, his looks. He did not want the other record company to make money off him. And so he was just very defiant. And his fashion really, at the time, like showed that it reflected how he was feeling towards the record company. And he wore these hats with the chain over him, to be more mysterious, to piss off the record company. There were so many reasons. So this is his iconic stage-worn chain hat from the Act 2 tour. And this one actually went for a lot less, which, shockingly enough, I'm surprised. It was estimated at $40,000 plus. Now, this was in November 2023, but went for $25,823, and that was with the buyer's premium. But, which, like I said, really surprises me, because it was from such an iconic part in his life. And I believe there's like one or two other out there, and they're kind of broken. One of them, it's got the chainmail with it, but it's broken from the hat, the symbols off the top. But, this was an era in Prince's life. We all still loved him. He was making amazing, great music, but it wasn't as butterfly feeling as Purple Rain, or, Raspberry Beret, which was the first song I ever walked a runway to, because the guy looked like Prince and he was a prince. But anyway, that's besides the point. But yeah, so I'm surprised this hat did not go for more. I really am. Because it didn't even meet its low estimate, which sometimes if an object does not meet the low end of the estimate, they put a premium on it, and if it doesn't meet the premium, then it won't be sold. So actually surprised this one did not go for closer to, 50, 60, 70,000 to $100,000, honestly, because we all know Prince wore this. When we think of this hat, there's nobody else that comes to mind besides Prince. He outclips even Madonna. But there you guys go. There is the episode today on Prince's auction, just a lot of his personal items, which I'm sure a lot of them are going to go for more already, even a couple years later, because they do that. And buyers, the economy, everything, it really does factor into, what people are willing to pay. And what business is willing to pay, because a lot of the Hard Rock cafes, Hard Rock hotels that are still open, they buy a lot of this stuff. Prince's estate might buy stuff back for their museum, other Prince museums, other Prince memorabilia collections that people have, so a lot of different ways for this to go. But tell me what you guys think down in the comment. What was your favorite piece? If you went to the Julian's auction, tell me what was your favorite piece over there. Like I said, just so many cool things, from an ID badge to signed Camille albums, to a signed Purple Rain album, went for like $37,000 or something like that by him, because we're not going to get any more autographs out of Prince. Sadly, we still have a bunch of music that's hiding away in the estate, but oh fuck, that's the most valuable. I wish we could hear it, and I can't wait until we do. It's going to be iconic. And I did meet Prince a couple times in Vegas, just, out of chance, because he was there and we happened to be at the same charity VIP party. And he was just pleasant and beautiful and sweet and shy and very kind and complimentary. And just, you cannot replace Prince. He's so talented. He's so humble, but he's such a leader at the same time. Prince was a perfect balance of an artist and the human being. And no, he wasn't perfect. Nobody is. But sadly, no more autographs, no more concerts, no more iconic, award show performances. So, yeah. But tell me what you think down in the comments. And thank you to everybody who got through this episode. I know the auction ones are not your favorite episodes, but I love doing them, and it's my little indulgence. So thank you guys for getting to the end of the video. And if you're just joining us and just stumbling on things, come and join us. We have a lot of fun here. We have a lot of really cool people, an amazing family over here. Just absolutely love it that I'm thankful of. And let's keep growing. We are growing at a very great steady pace and I love it. And we're just getting closer and closer to my 10,000 goal, which isn't huge, but it's it's just a good goal to have. It's not ostentatious or anything like that. It's just kind of a goal. So thank you guys for helping me get there. So if you're just lurking, just hanging out, come on, join us, have a good time, hit that subscribe, hit that share, hit that bell, ding-a-ling-a-ling, and we'll see you next time on Cocktails and Rocktails. Cheers, my dears.